So you guys have been from day one, not you, maybe not you, not as bad, crushing the energy sector. And it's a fact. And Rick Scott is exactly right. But can you comment on the 3 examples I just gave? You say you want to increase supply. Everything I just said is about directly decreasing supply. What about those? NPRA, Cook Inlet, new NEPA rules.
I hear what you're saying.
Do you agree with me that those are about limiting supply?
No, it's not about
Of course
limiting
they are. When you
supply.
take leases off the table.
But maybe there are other concerns why a lease might be taken off the table in a sensitive environmental area. Maybe
Half
it has
of the
nothing
National
to do with
Petroleum Reserve of
supply.
Alaska?
This is not my lane. So
Cook Inlet?
and I understand that there was no interest on the part of
That's not
those
true.
who wanted
That's
to.
fundamentally a lie.
Okay. Well,
But again, that's not yours.
Again, this is not. These are not my areas of responsibility. I'm
How
just
about the
telling you-
NEPA rules?
Again, that's EPA. That's not me.
No, that's the White House, CEQ.
Well, let me just say this. We want to see an increase in supply, and we want it to be done in a responsible way.
The actions I just
I'm just saying
laid out
that
in the last 3 weeks would indicate directly otherwise.
there have been, I said earlier, maybe you weren't here for that, but there have been, under the Biden administration's first year in office, more permits issued for oil and gas drilling than at the first 3 years of the Trump administration.
You have 4,600 applications to drill stuck at the Department of Interior. 4,600. I recently checked on this.
And there's 9,000
the applications
permits.
to drill. It's
There are
very
9,000
different from-
permits out there that
Okay,
are
I'm
sitting
gonna
unused.
look. I just happen to fundamentally disagree with you,
Senator, please.
Mr. Chairman. This is an incredibly important issue for the national security of our country. The Biden administration is openly hostile to the energy sector, and then they try to come in front of committees like this and say they're not. It's just not true. Let me just ask another one. The president is in Japan right now. This is in your area. All of our allies in Asia and in Europe want a more American LNG. I think the president is going to announce something along the lines of we should get more LNG. I think you agree with that, Madam Secretary. I'd like your views. American LNG to our allies. John Kerry, though, has come out, I know, to Japanese officials saying you should be very careful on buying American LNG. Do you agree with John Kerry's approach to going to Asia, saying you should have reluctance of buying American LNG? I hope you can disavow that. I've heard that from Japanese officials telling me that he's saying that. I mean, whose side is this guy on? So where are you on the exports of American, clean-burning American LNG to our allies in Europe and in Asia? And do you think the president, my understanding is, I hope he does, he's going to announce some kind of initiative in Japan this week? I
can't preview what he's going to be announcing, but I will say that we believe that American LNG is an important trading. It's an important way to help our allies. We at the Department of Energy have permitted an additional 4 LNG terminals for export to the EU. We also have permitted 30 billion cubic feet of LNG, both at FERC and at DOE, that haven't even begun construction yet. We believe that LNG is one way to help our allies, and we think it's important. And we're also encouraged by the fact that the LNG, many of the producers of LNG are eager to use the infrastructure associated with LNG to make it hydrogen ready. So
Good.
Both pieces.
So just real quick, so if assume John Kerry did tell some Japanese officials to be reluctant to buy American LNG, he's not Senate confirmed. He's kind of, in my view, a nobody with a job in the White House that they won't even give us any information on how much he's spending, how many people he employs. But you're a Senate-confirmed Secretary of Energy. Assume he said that. Can you just openly reject that and say, of course we would want our allies to buy American LNG?
I have the greatest respect for John Kerry. I can't assume anything that, or believe words put in his mouth. I do believe he's doing an amazing job across the globe getting communities and countries to step up to their commitments to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions.
I'm just asking you to answer
I understand you're asking me for a hypothetical.
Our Japanese allies need to know this. They've come to me.
We have spoken with Japan repeatedly, and Japan is really interested in forming a relationship on LNG in a stronger way. We are supportive of that.
So buying American LNG would be a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sullivan. Thank you, Madam Secretary and Madam Administrator. We are going to conclude the
Mr. Chairman, can I ask one final question? It's not for the Secretary, it's a quick one.
One.
For Secretary,
Very-
Madam Secretary Huber, can I ask you, the nuclear enterprise that you, Admiral Caldwell, Secretary Granholm are in charge of is really remarkable. And the culture there, what we've been able to do in terms of nuclear-powered naval aircraft, or I'm sorry, Navy vessels, including submarines, is a really, really impressive record. With regard to AUKUS, which I think is a Biden administration initiative that is really, really good and really important, and I've been publicly supporting the President and his team on that initiative. How do we balance the culture and safety of what the nuclear enterprise has been able to achieve for our nation, particularly the nuclear Navy, with the goals, which I fully support, of broader cooperation in that realm with the Australians and the Brits? And are there areas beyond nuclear that you think the AUKUS initiative should encompass? And Madam Secretary, to the extent you want to answer that as well, it's an important question, and I want to be very supportive of this very important initiative.
Thank you. Thank you for your support of AUKUS. I think the naval reactors folks and everybody on the U.S. and UK teams are doing a terrific job during this 18-month study period and have found paths through this that will preserve and even make better our capabilities and our nonproliferation regime. So I'm very optimistic about what this agreement can do. I do think there are other things that would be interesting to work on in the UK, Australia, US. I think there are energy things. I think there are climate things. I think there are science and technology. And I look forward to the possibility of doing that as this agreement matures.
Well, if there's things we can do on the committee to help support it, we certainly want to do it. Madam Secretary, do you have any views on AUKUS or what we can be doing?
Yeah, no, just to pick up on the energy side of things, I mean, I know they're going through an election right now, but I'm hopeful that whoever survives that will continue to work with us on, for example, hydrogen production. They are doing great work in Australia on that, and I'm very close with their minister, my counterpart, on sharing technology, ideas, and strategies regarding the production, but the export of clean hydrogen too.
Great. Thank you, Mr.
Senator Sullivan.